If I told you that you could lower your risk of dementia by 30% in just 5 minutes a day, not with supplements or brain games, just by learning one new thing, a new thing every single day. Most people wait for the right time to focus on their brain health, but your brain's clock doesn't wait. It's changing right now for better or for worse. Today, we are going to talk about one of the simplest, most powerful brain-boosting habit you can start immediately. 5 minutes of learning something new. Here's what's really happening when you learn. Every time you take new information or you try a new skill, your brain activates synaptic plasticity or neuroplasticity. That's how neurons form and strengthen their connections. Think of your brain like a city. Every new thing you learn builds more roads and bridges, giving your brain more routes to move information. When one route slows down because of stress, inflammation, or aging, others are ready to take over. That's called cognitive reserve, and it's one of the strongest predictors of long-term brain health. Studies show that people who engage in lifelong learning can reduce their dementia risk by near 30%. That is a massive payoff for something so small and simple and fun. The magic is micro-learning, small, consistent challenges that keep your brain flexible. You could learn a new vocabulary word. Some people will subscribe to the vocabulary word of the day and then try to use it several times in the sentence, and it really starts to get your brain working. And you could even step it up by learning a new word in a foreign language every single day. And by the end of the year, you might know a new language. So how cool would that be? You could learn one health fact, even by watching these videos or listening to this podcast, perhaps. But there's so much wealth of information on the internet that you have access to learning almost anything. Over time, you are creating new synaptic connections that help you build your brain to be able to focus and learn even greater content down the road. And then once you learn it, you want to use it over and over again, and that makes it stick. You can even write it down. And if it's applicable, teach it. When you teach something, it really gets wired into your brain. And once you learn the new thing, just reflect back and say, what did I learn and how can I use it? So that even further strengthens those connections. The other thing is that learning something new doesn't just change your brain, it changes your biology. When you learn something new, it increases dopamine, which is our feel-good hormone. And when you have more dopamine, you feel more motivated because you're rewarded by the feeling of dopamine. That's why learning feels so good when you make it a habit. Dopamine also supports focus, energy, and mood. So the simple act of curiosity can help counteract stress and even boost resilience. And when your brain feels engaged, your stress hormones tend to stabilize, your sleep improves, and your nervous system shifts towards balance. It's what in functional medicine we call better vagal tone and parasympathetic activation. That's your anti-stress system. And you feel happier because you have something else that you're putting your mind into instead of worrying about other things. And you're protecting your memory. And by doing this, you're also protecting your memory and helping to bring your mental health back into balance, which then also helps your physical health. So think of it as prevention in real time. We're not waiting for decline and trying to reverse it later. We're building resilience now, because when you stop learning, your brain starts pumping unused connections. The whole use it or lose it isn't a saying, it's biology. So 5 minutes of deliberate learning tells your brain, keep these circuits strong. And over time, those circuits are what's going to protect your attention, your memory, and your independence. That is what healthy aging looks like. Staying sharp, curious, and connected to life. And learning just gives you such a purpose too. So here's your daily habit challenge for today. Take 5 minutes today to learn one new thing, anything that sparks curiosity. Then write it down, teach it, and reflect on what you learned. And drop a comment below and let me know what kind of fun things you're learning. I'm always excited to hear about them. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe, follow, and share. And check out my YouTube channel if you're listening to this on the podcast, as there are other videos that aren't on this podcast that you may find interesting. Thanks for listening or watching, and have a fantastic day.